Good evening, arsonist. I'll say that again. Good evening, arsonist. We're just waiting on both players arriving in the room, and then we'll get things underway. Right, we're having a slight problem because Matt's supposed to have saved the game, but he can't find the save. This could be a while. Right. Okay, they can't find the save game, which seems a bit crazy. That's what happens when you leave amateurs in charge of doing things. So at the moment, Semipro has a 2-0 lead, but he's actually up 5-3 at the moment in this match from the first session. So let's get it underway. And that's a pretty good break-off shot because the green covers the left side of the table and the blue covers the right side of the table. So this is going to be either one rail into the side of the pack or actually two rails into the back of the pack. That looks reasonably okay.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Wrong button, hang on a minute. Well, this is the angle that's going to take him up for the blue. I don't know whether that pink goes in the gap. Maybe the pink goes. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, the pink goes. But he hasn't got... He needs to get a bit of bottom in that cue ball there to square it up so it could come up for a line on that blue ball into the side there. The pink does go. He's looking at it. He's going to have to run the cue ball though. And as long as it slows up, that's a good shot. Now, of course, the pink doesn't spot. So, according to the rules of snooker, it goes between its spot in line with all the other balls that are on their spot, as close to its spot as it can go. So it's right at the back of the pack, so it's out the game. And he hasn't quite gone far enough in that red. He can still pot it, but he's going to have to leave himself a high angle here in this black so that he can try and get into the pack. But it's not a great pack to go into with that row of three balls. And that is not enough angle really to do an awful lot of damage, I don't think. I don't see any plants in the pack. And that's the problem with that line of three balls at the back of the pack. As Willie Thorne always said, a flat back pack is never a good pack to go into off the black. And the run is going to end, but it's a good start, a good run of 31. Ideally, wants to cover that red to stop Semi being able to play it. If I can get these bloody buttons to work. Hang on a minute here. Yeah, he didn't cover the red, so it's an easy safety for Semi. And now Semi has left a shot to nothing here for Matt. Good evening, Cobra. And this would be a good start for Matt to just reel Semi-Pro in, not let him get away. The two of these guys are supposed to have saved this game last week, but neither of them... well, first of all, Matt was supposed to load the game when I left the room, but he couldn't find a save, so clearly there's a bit of practice needed in actually saving the game. What should have happened is, the guaranteed way of getting a safety is one of you kills the game and then the other guy has to save. And that always guarantees that you're going to have a save. especially if you're just playing in a match room, obviously. That's it. The way I would normally ask somebody to save a game. You quit the game, actually kill the game, so that VP4 recognises you've left the game. And then the other player has the options that come up on the screen. He can either quit or wait or save the game and reload it. And that would have been the simple way to do it. Well, that's a bad miss there for Matt. I think he was trying to get a nudge on one of the reds there, get into the cue ball too much, but missed the red. Sorry, the black in the process. Now, there's not going to be a lot on here for Semipro, so there's not any great value in potting this red, which is why he didn't attempt it. He's just trying to get good distance. And once again, you need to have a quick look at the pack if you're going to clip off the pack. If you're going to clip off that red, the obvious problem here is the pink. Well, there's nothing doing. But as I was saying there, if you're going to play off the pack, you must look at where the balls are going to connect with one another to see what you might be pushing on. And that red is on. And Matt needs to get into the cue ball a bit here. He needs a wee bit of bottom on this because he wants to try and get behind the bunch of balls here. He doesn't want to run into anything. He wants to get a clean hit and get out. And that's a good shot. It's pretty well controlled. Now, if he pots the black, that means that that red is dead. That red will be blocked to get to. There's obviously the red at the back of the bunch. And he's taking the pink instead to get rid of that red, which is good thinking. Pink now, of course, doesn't go in its spot, so it goes in the highest available, which is a good thing. It keeps the pink in play. Now, a little stun on this pink. The angle looks reasonable enough for a little stun. He might just run to the rail. No, he's been a wee bit more aggressive. I don't know. I mean, he's going for the kill. He's got a 52-point lead. But now what he's done is he's committed. He's opened the reds. And now he has to back this up. He can't afford a mistake at this stage because that's just letting Semipro feed off his aggressive shot. So he's got to make the most of this. So Semipro with a 5 frame to 3 lead. The lead is 60. Still enough points in the table yet, though. Well, the good news is, some very good news. I did my last shift this morning, and I am now not due back at work till a fortnight tomorrow. Thank God for that. So I've got the rest of Wimbledon to watch next week. Well, this is a smooth, solid start. He's stroking the ball well here, Matt. So 59 left in the table. Well past the point of no return here for Semipro. But even with these reds still in the table, Semipro may well still come back to the table if Matt doesn't kill it off for good. And he's gone a bit close to the cushion. We'll probably just roll through and cut this red in. Oh, he's managed to hold it. Break goes to 42. The highest break was not, I think it was in the first frame of the match. I think, and again, I think it was 61 or 62 or 65, I can't remember. So, red is open into the middle pocket. I think both of them might be. Yes, they are. Little bounce, little angle. Perfect. And again, that was well controlled. And he's going to have to leave the long yellow unless he wants to dig into this and stun it hard. Yes, he could have done with stunning it a wee bit harder. But he's got a nice angle on this yellow if he wants to draw off the yellow. I don't know whether he can drop through and be good on this green. I didn't think it was going to be that good. He would have been better maybe to draw off the yellow. So he's got a bedhead cut on the green. And that was nice. Now how's the pace? A bit heavy, but the heavier it is, the better, because he'll have it into the middle pocket. Well, Semipro now got the room that he wanted after last week's shenanigans. But Matt has had an excellent start. The run is 78. Now, big cut in the black to take it to 91. Well played. Excellent start for Matt. Break of 91. And Semipro knows he's in a match. I'll say well played. Well, a loose break from Semipro. Now, this is a break that pros don't want to do in snooker. If you hit the last red when you're breaking off in snooker and you hit it too thick, you're going to push it to that bottom rail, and as luck would have it, it's going to come up the table. And it came up beyond the halfway line, beyond the blue, and not only that, it left a red loose on the left-hand side. Now, there's ways to avoid that happening, and the way to do it is to hit the second last red and the last red with loads of right-hand side. And as I say, if you get it right, two reds will go to the rail in unison, and they'll come back out in a line, usually. And the cue ball, if you get the pace right, will be back to ball. But you won't bring this red up the table. And you certainly are less likely to leave a lone red out at the side that Semipro did there. And it's let's let Matt in to continue where he left off in the first frame. And this is perfect in the blue. Although I don't think he can do a lot with it. Let's have a look. He's a bit too close to the cushion here. He's having to jack up. Needs a lucky roll here, and I think he's got it. Maybe, yeah. And he's got an angle to get up table. He's going to have to force this in though, because he's got nothing here with pink and black. So it's either good in the blue or a bulk colour to come back up. But once again, there's nothing on, really. I mean, there's one red at the back of the bunch here. And he'd be wise just to duck for cover here. Bank the points and play a good safety. Well, that's covered the left-hand side of the table as we look, but it's left Semi a sight on the right-hand side. Once again, he should have had a look at the pack here, and he's got that thin. The green will take the pace off it. So Semi-Pro has a 5 frames to 4 lead. That's going to hit the blue. But I think he might have got away with it. As he's cracking onto the green. Well, I would still take that, even though the green's gone in. Good length in the cue ball. But Semi-Pro has been put back in. Of course, each time the safety's played, you're trying to use these bulk colours to get cover, and that's a pretty good shot. I mean, length of the table, and it means that Semi's got to get a good thin edge here. Matt's got to get a good thin edge, I should say, not Semi. And that's a good shot. But that brown and blue are in a line, but it's still the target area you should be aiming at. And another 4 goes to Matt. Again, needs to be nice and thin on this red, but if he gets it too thin, he can push it through the gap. That red there, he could push it through the gap and leave it on. And that's why I was trying to be wafer thin with it. And this may well be ball in hand in the in bulk again for Semi. See, the thing is, when you're playing safeties off the pack, that shot that Semi-Pro had there, that safety he played there, if he'd played that with a bit of left-hand side, it hits the back rail and straightens the cue ball a bit, so it doesn't go around the corner as much, and then you can find a better line to come down behind these colours. It was a bit loose. Well, now the mistake has been made by Matt. Semi-Pro has his first chance at the table to pot a ball, really. Now, is he going to try and move reds from the black spot? Because I think the black spot is occupied. It looks like it. That red's smack back, bang on the black spot. So black spot will go to the blue. Black ball will go to the blue spot, I should say. Which doesn't help Semi-Pro a great deal. And again, he's tried to move things and get lucky and maybe open that black spot, but he's got no great angle here. Of course, you can't see that red that's over the corner pocket on the right hand side. Well, the pink is available into the corner and into the middle pocket. And he's going dead straight on this red. So just a straight draw off it, and if he gets the pace right, maybe the black, but if he overhits it, he'll be on one of the bulk colours. I think he's got the pace not too bad. Now he might play the aggressive shot here onto the pink, and that should open up those cluster of reds there. Looks as if he's maybe playing the red at the bottom of the bunch. Yes, that's what he's decided on. He's gone way low on it. And left himself not an easy red into the side, especially when you have to play it with a wee bit of pace to get the cue ball moving. So Semi-Pro's visit ends in 19. Likewise, Matt's having to jack up and dig into this cue ball to try and get it away from the reds when he pots the red here. So the high run for the match is now 91 from Matt. Well, it's not going to be easy to score a great deal off this. He's the wrong side of the red, and he's now the wrong side of the pink. The pink goes, but he's going to have to play this with pace and left hand side unless he's going to get up for this red with the green. That looks what he's doing. I mean, the red does go, that's in that little group of three, but I think he's going to go up table maybe. Now, it's all about getting down onto that red that's there. I mean, if he goes down the other side, he can go on that one. So it's either of those two reds that he's trying to get on. And from the blue, it looks like that red, because the angle's good enough. Oh, he's not played that well. He's not got into the cue ball at all. He needed to get a bit more draw onto that. I think he's missed the red there. Yeah, and he may well be put back in again. Yes, he is. Semi doesn't fancy playing off either of those reds, because look at the line that the two reds are sitting in. And this time Matt's got it wafer thin. Now Semi will have a shot to nothing on that top red of the three. And now we've got the blue and pink stuck together in the middle of the table. There's a cue ball going. Well, again, not a major disaster. Everything's safe. And Semi-Pro's been put back in again. And this is one he has to be careful with, because if he's going to play off that last red, he certainly needs to get it thin enough that it doesn't skip across to that corner pocket. And he's played it well. Now this time, Matt could certainly play off the red that's above that pink, but that's opening him up. He could be aggressive that way as long as he gets a pretty good cue ball. Now if he's going that way, he's going to have to watch where this other red goes that's above the pink, because he's going to be nudging it into play. Now is that a plan? Well, he's went for the two reds. Let's have a look at this setup here. No, it isn't. But the choice he made wasn't bad, because the end result's not that bad. Again, that's the sort of touch you need on the reds at distance. And that's excellent. I think that's a great shot, because... Or is it? Is there a gap? No, there isn't. So, well, the target ball is the ball in the very top of the table, if he can find a line to get to it. And the line is there. And he just wants to be rolling this sort of dead weight. I don't know whether that's going to get there, though. Now, Semi-Pro, once again, has a choice. He can put him back in, force him to retake it. And Semi's decided he's maybe going to have a go here, but... Well, he's got the pot. Now, does the blue go past that black? It looked pretty close. But the black's now back on its spot, which is good. And Semi needs to get the angle on this black. Well, he's took a risk there. The risk is breaking up those reds off a red, which is a sort of cardinal sin in snooker. You never do that, because all you're doing is relying on luck that you're going to land on a colour. In this case, Semi-Pro got lucky. He landed good on the black. And now he has a chance to win the frame, because that red will go. He's going to have to draw off this, come up the table. Well, he's tried to break them out again. He didn't need to. He didn't need to. If he just got high enough on the red, he could have easily potted it. Well, now he should be home and dry. 15-point lead. Last red wide open. He needs to just slow up. That will do. Well, the shot is the blue and in and out a ball for the back onto the yellow, but you do what you can get away with in VP4. You know, a professional would never leave himself that distance in a yellow when the blue ball can take him in and out of bulk onto the yellow and get much closer on it. But you can get away with things a lot easier in VP4 than you'll ever do in a real snooker table. That's one thing it can guarantee you. But Semi-Pro's home and dry now. And I'm sure he'll be relieved to get a frame on the board and restore his 2-frame lead. The lead goes to 6 frames to 4. Good evening to Dwight. Now, this is where Semi's put himself in under a bit of pressure because he's bust the reds. He's now got himself out of line and he's going to have to roll a red down this rail. And that's what happens. You know, he's been aggressive opening the reds. The run is 47, so it's a good start. And again, I think he can consider himself lucky that he's not left a great deal on. I'm just looking at this couple of reds here. That might be a plant into the side, those 2 reds, because you can certainly make it. But Matt's taking a much more difficult shot. And that's going to catch the knuckle. But again, he may well have got away with it. No, there's a red to the right, the pink will go. Well, this time, Semipro should seal the deal here. The way these are all sitting, every single red is on. And all the colours are available. The green's a bit awkward where it is, but he should be well over the line by the time he's finished here. And that'll stretch his lead to 3 frames. There's the cue ball going. Well, there you go. Well, it's a 60-point lead, and they're all there for Matt. Well, this will be a sore one. This will be a sore one if Matt can get his act together here. But plenty of points still in the table for him. Now that angle in the black is perfect, just to roll it in and finish in one of those 2 reds below the pink. At least it looks like it from here. Yeah, it's fine. Well, he could take the one into the side. If he takes any of the reds and he takes the bottom red, he's running into the red, so he's taking the top one and just rolling through. He's going to leave himself an angle on the black. But he doesn't really, I don't think he fancies it, because I think the worry is when you're playing that red and you're running into the other red, you're not guaranteed you're going to be good in the black. If he takes that one, he's guaranteed he's not running into anything. And he's played it with enough weight to bring himself back over for the pink, which is good. Well, this is where you've got to keep your wits about you. You know everything's there for you. And as long as you pick your way through these, keeping an eye on the scoreboard, make sure that you're not taking too low a colour. It should be fairly elementary to pick these reds off. Well, he's looking at the one up the rail. Unless he's going to stop it for the blue. And this is dangerous when you play it with a bit of pace. He's actually, I don't know whether he played for the blue or whether he played for the pink there. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. How's he sitting in that red? He's again just a wee bit. I mean, again, he can still pot the red and run to the side cushion and still leave an angle in the black. If he takes the other red that he's looking at there, he can come off the rail for the pink or down for the black. So he's got choices here. But again, he's making sure he wasn't leaving himself too high on the black. So that way, to avoid that, he decided to hit it with a bit more pace to come back across the table. Ran into the pink, got away with it though. So 43 still left in the table. So again, plenty of points. Now the blue is on its spot, so that's where it's going to go when it comes back up. So he has to be making sure that he can still see good enough in this red. I think he's fine. Now, ideally, he wants to go through the gap if he can between the. Well, he's tried to just stud and nudge the blue and hold. Well, he's going to have to. Let's look at the angle he's got. He can cut the blue. He might want to play it with a wee bit of left-hand side though, just to make sure he comes further down. And now it's opened up and come off the rail. That's pretty good. So here's the crucial one. The angle he's got in the yellow. Well, he could go around the corner and leave a long green down the table, but he wants to really be coming back. But if he comes back, he's going to come this way. And yeah, he's going round behind it for the long green. Now, he knows that if he gets the green, he's guaranteed he's on the brown. He's 12 points behind, so this is pretty much frame ball if he pots this green and gets off the cushion and onto the brown. Oh, that's too soon. And he'll be glad that he did do that, because the greens come away for the pocket. The run ends in 43. And now it's going to be a battle on these colours. And that was almost a very good shot by Semi. Now the standard safety here is just to nudge the green onto the side rail and leave the cue ball this side. And that's really all he can do. But he's overhit that by quite a bit there. As far as the cue ball goes, the cue ball should never have been up here. Semi, I think, fancies the cut in this green. Come back across the table for a long brown. Yeah, you see, that's. I would never have played that. Oh, never in a month of Sundays would I have tried that cut in the green. It would have been an edge of the green and over behind the black. That's a shot I would have played. But look, he's got away with it though. Yeah, that was never on. But what is on is the thin edge of the green. And it's all about judging the pace. The lead's 16. Semi-Pro just looking to clip this green and come back down. That looks pretty good. If it slows up. It's just ran and ran and ran. The lead is 19, so this is frame ball. And he's decided against it. But he hasn't hit that hard enough. And again, there's a fairly easy safety on here for Matt. Again, he can still send this to a side rail. That's a better shot. I mean, it's left the possible double, but this could sell the frame if Semi-Pro takes the bait. And he has done. And he's got away with it. Now this time though, Matt has to be brave, because he can use the pink and black here, and he's going to put the brown on though, but you've got to go for it and try and get the cover. And that's the shot. I mean, the brown was always going to be available one way or another, but if you get the cover and get a good safety, a good snooker, and give you the upper hand, and that's what it has done at the moment, this frame isn't over. Oh, that's a good hit. It's a good hit, but it's going to leave Matt a chance to still pinch this frame. Blue, pink and black on their spots. Oh, I would have went for it a lot more than that. I would never have wanted to be leaving the cue ball there for the blue. I would have been trying to get on the blue. And that's the reason why. And that's now lost him the frame. I mean, I think he should have been a bit more positive in getting that cue ball back up the table to get better on the blue than what he did. And that's lost him the frame. So, well, effectively lost him. It's a 20-point lead. And Matt has had enough. So, it is now 7 frames to 4. The thing is that to me, you've got to play the right shot. It doesn't matter what game you play. You know, there's the right shot to play. You've got to play the forcing shot on that. What was it? The brown. He had to manoeuvre that cue ball to get good on the blue there, and he sort of chickened out and decided to leave himself, you know, a long pot, which you're never guaranteed you're going to get them. Not even in VP4. It's just surprising he didn't go for it a bit more aggressively to play the right shot to get nicer on that blue and make the clearance a lot easier. And that's what lost him the frame in the end. Well, again, here, you know, you run for cover. But these guys are way too aggressive for my liking. I mean, you've got to... Okay, there's not going to be a lot left on. But you can gain a lot more from a pretty damn good safety shot than you can for sticking your neck in the line and going for something that's not going to yield you an awful lot of points. And Matt's decided he's going to try and get cover. He hasn't quite got it. But there is enough room for that red above the blue to go past the other red. It does go. Again, Semipro doesn't need to play this. He can cut that to the side cushion, run past the black and bring the cue ball back into vault. He doesn't need to be going for this shot. Well, he's decided wisely not to go for it, but he's also decided he didn't want to risk coming back to vault and leave this red exposed, so he's using the pack. You see that red? I think that red actually does go, but I mean, you'd be playing a really aggressive shot there to try and nudge it past the other red and beyond the black. Well, that was almost in. A sort of shot to nothing there, where if the red had gone in, you were always on the black. But Semipro has left one on for Matt, and Matt has overcooked it. He's got into the cue ball too much, and now he's in trouble because he's going to he's forced himself into having a go at a pretty dodgy blue where he can't really get to the cue ball really well. And now, well, he can play a fairly good safety shot off the brown, get the cue ball over here. There's a line of red, so there's nothing going there. But he's gone all out for the blue, and he's left Semipro in trouble. By good fortune, that is. He's hampered over the yellow, but that red does cut. Semipro relying on luck that he's going to have a shot at a colour, and he does have. Now, that back to that shot that Matt played, there was nothing to stop him playing off the brown and running a cue ball to this part of the table, because the line of reds was leaving nothing on this side. But he just let these players get aggressive, knowing that they're going to pay the price if they do miss most of the time. And there's a heavy price to pay for aggression that doesn't come out with positive results. And Matt may well be feeling the pain after this one. Yes, I am muted. What I was ranting about there was Semipro isn't playing. I'm going back to the fact that what I said last week about Semipro's match play in snooker. I think he's sorely lacking in a lot of match play, because that shot he just played there at his last visit there was a really poorly thought out shot. You can't just be drawing a cue ball, letting it run, and then just hoping that because the reds are open, you're going to get lucky and get good on a red. And it was a bit silly. And like the last frame, he's given Matt a chance to pinch this. Now, I think that last red is stuck to the rail, or pretty much. It's not that bad. It's off the cushion, but it's going to be difficult. But Semipro has to play positional play. See, the thing is, he's that used to. I keep going back to the fact he goes into your room, he smacks reds open to make these 1-4-7s. Because smacking the reds open means you've got very little to do with the cue ball. You know, there's very little to do in terms of playing good positional play. And that's maybe what he's lacking in proper match play. Likewise for Matt, I would never have attempted to pot that blue earlier on in this frame. I would have played safe off the brown. It would have left nothing on down the right hand side of the table at all. So there's sort of over aggressive thinking in the way these guys want to play the game, because they can score and they can pot balls, but there's a bit of a you know, if you've watched and played enough snooker over the years, then you've got to know when to wind it in and keep things a bit tighter. There's some loose shots been played, but that last one from Semi was a really poor effort, a really badly thought out shot. It was badly thought out because he didn't think an awful lot. He just drew the cue ball and hoped, and you can't do that. Not when there's reds all open and you can play a positional shot. What a boring game. Well, the thing is that you know, it's a lot easier for these players to pot balls. They pot balls a lot better than I do. And I'm talking from a snooker point of view. I'm a purist as far as snooker goes, and I'm watching some poor shot choices a lot of the time, you know, in some respects, it's panning out one way that I thought it would, where Semi-Pro's match play, he's sort of one track. He's a bit like Stubb in that respect, and I'll say the same. He's a bit like Larry as well. You know, Larry is very much pot the balls and stay at the table, where the strategy thing is a lot further from these players' minds, because they're so set in their ways in staying at the table and potting balls. Now, that's obviously a good thing to do, but there are times when you have to be thinking about how the game's panning out, how the frame's going, and lock the player up if you can sometimes. Because a lot of these aggressive players, when they're playing somebody who's got a wee bit more nous about them, it doesn't matter how good they guys can pot. If they can't see a ball to pot it, then it doesn't matter how good you are. I just think they need to employ a wee bit better strategy sometimes. But you stick a 9-ball player on the snooker table and they've only got one thought in mind half the time. They don't. They generally don't see the bigger picture. I mean, I think it's far better to take what's there and then duck for cover and leave your opponent nothing on. Let them make the mistakes. But this time, Matt has his chance. He had his chance in the last frame. He blew it by playing a poor shot, making no attempt to get good in the blue. And that lost him the frame in the end when he had to frame it in his grasp. Now this time, let's have a look at this pink. Well, he can pot the pink. He might want to make sure he gets into the cue ball a wee bit and doesn't go near this black. You see, that's the danger there, as he was always going to clip it, but he's clipped it right, and he's now good. So it's now 7 frames to 5 to Semipro. Well, that's this is a thing. This is a big. It's a fairly standard criticism about 9-ball players. Players who've played nothing but pool. When they start playing snooker, they again, you've got to learn the strategy side of snooker if you're going to be a good all-round player. The rest of it takes care of itself if you know what you're doing when you're at the table. That's fine. These guys can pop balls. These guys can score. But in my mind, it's about making sure the other guy doesn't score by playing the right shots and knowing when to leave well alone when you're looking at a shot that's like, less than 50% chance of going in. You've got to know when to walk away. And I mean, that shot there by Semipro, I mean, I don't know whether Semi's listened to this, but that's the worst shot in the whole match so far. That's absolutely diabolical. I mean, I mean, to be going for a black like that, it's just not on. But it's put pressure on Matt because every red on the table has a pocket, one way or another. But Matt's job is to get one in straight away here and get on a colour. And there you go. And now everything's rosy for Semipro. And that's what the pressure does. Even though these reds are all burst open, it was a stupid shot by Semipro. And Matt had the pressure of having to get a ball in a hole there. Now, he had an easier red, which was that one there. And he could easily have taken that and get into the cue ball and got up the table. The worry was that he wasn't going to be good on the black. But if he had got into the cue ball and got up high enough, he could have been on the yellow or on the pink. And now it's Christmas come early for Semipro after his crazy shot that he's played a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, it was, exactly. That's what Semi's used to doing. By the way, Slim, did you notice that tournament that you signed up for that's on tomorrow, the 4th of July tournament? I had a look at it, and I'm saying Slim signed up to this tournament. I'm looking at the tournament, and I'm reading all the information. I'm saying the name of the tournament's 4th of July Scottish Doubles, and I'm looking at it. I'm saying, where the hell's the Scottish Doubles in this tournament? And I'm thinking, maybe Semi's, why am I saying Semi? Maybe Slim has sent out his proposal to his partner, and he's waiting in a reply. And I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading. I'm saying, where does it say Scottish Doubles? And then I PM Steve and I said, have a look at that tournament, Steve. Tell me where the Scottish Doubles part is in it. Well, Semipro has only scored 27. That's a big surprise. And anyway, Steve then get back to me and says, because it isn't Scottish Doubles. Steve, I think he deleted it. I think he's doing another one. He set it all up, but he forgot to put it in his Scotch doubles. Now, what you do here is you try and pick your way through these reds, and you leave that red up over the top right-hand corner pocket as a bailout for the time being. Because even those reds that are up in bulk in around the green ball, they're all available into the other left-hand corner pocket should you end up down that side. But what you're trying to do is pick your way through the reds that are here, get the black back in its spot. But Matt's got himself immediately in trouble, so he's having to bail out. Slim, I'll give you an apology right now if you're still there. I think I played my part in that disaster we had last night. Again, my excuse is very little table time, and when I do get table time, it's on the 10-footer and it's cowboy, which I'd normally be doing in the mornings. And then when you come down to a 9-foot table and you're playing an entirely different game, the touch is not there. There is no confidence in controlling that cue ball pace. Well, this is the third frame in a row where Matt's had a chance to punish Semipro. He's failed in the first attempt. He got the second one okay, and he's now in with a chance of doing it for the third time. Things are getting just a wee bit tricky here. He's not getting good. Now again, you would never see a professional play this black. Not when he's got a brown like that. Ronnie would never play the black just for the sake of playing the black. Here he would play the brown and then get the red next to the one that's to the left of the pink. There's things you can always get away with in VP4 that you'd never ever contemplate on a real snooker table. No way on earth would you ever be going for that black. And what I'm really saying is, and this is why when I watched VP3 players playing snooker, the best player I ever seen playing snooker was Matt Magic. He was the best snooker player I've seen. It's a case of how he played the game, and Glenn as well played the game very well. But Matt Magic was by far the best technically as far as how you go about making a break. He would always look for the angle in the black into the pack of reds, or the angle in the pink into the pack of reds, or the angle off the blue into the pack of reds. He would do it the right way. That's who I started watching snooker in VP3 years and years ago before I started playing it. I mean, I was playing it in real life back then, but when I first started VP3, and I was playing 9-ball all the time, and then I looked at snooker, and he was one of the players that I heard about, so I started watching him, and I think he did pretty much most things right. He would never have been doing daft shots like Semipro did. They're trying to cut that black. He would have never have done anything like that. He would have ducked for cover. Yeah, Stubbs, again, no way is he ever a snooker player, but again, he's got the ability to pop balls, and that's what you'll want to keep doing. But strategy-wise, a lot of 9-ball players are just sorely lacking strategy-wise in snooker. But things are looking reasonably good here for Matt. The run is 52. He's got a fairly straightforward red down the rail. These rails and these pockets are a lot more forgiving than a professional table. But because he's just rolled through, and because he just made sure of the red, he's got himself still close to the cushion here. Now, he should be going through in this yellow and taking it into the other corner pocket. That would be the shot. He should end up taking it into that pocket, but he's looking at the black. It's a wee bit trickier, this. See, again, he's playing a get away with shot here. What is he? He's 30, 22 in front. And content to leave the long yellow because you can get away with them. But it doesn't matter how you end up doing it as long as you get it done. So he's punished Semipro twice out of 3 as far as poorly thought out shots and opening the reds or leaving your opponent in. And Matt's managed to make sure he punishes him this time. That's just a complete no-no in the game of snooker, bursting reds all over the shop. Because you've stacked pressure on yourself not to miss. Knowing when you're playing somebody like Matt, he's going to come in and he's going to get a stack from what you've left. And that's exactly what's happened. So, it's a good run of, what the hell was it, 60? No, 80. And I've got my little clicker just running up the score. It's now 7 frames to 6 in favour of Semipro. And another poor break-off shot. Again, he's so used to just breaking from the back of the pack, he doesn't get an awful lot of practice doing a proper break. And I think pretty much every time that Matt's came to the table off a semi-break, Matt's had a shot. So if you wanted to be really critical of Semipro, there's a few things he needs to work on. There's a, what is it? You know, big. I'm going to paraphrase a saying that Eric Bristow used to say in darts, and anybody that knows darts and knows Eric Bristow used to say, 180s for show, doubles for dough. Well, you can apply the same analogy in snooker. 147s for show, but winning the frame for the dough. And first of all, you need to work out a decent break-off shot. And secondly, you want to make much more wiser choices than simply just trying to stay at the table each time you come to the table. Take what's there and duck for cover, and the pressure's on your opponent straight away. Well, you've got to do. I mean, you call it a pushy break. I mean, I'm not talking about running into the back of the pack, but I'm talking about I've showed on that video I did the shot that you can play in the break off in VP4. And if you get it right, you're not going to leave an awful lot on. You're not going to bust the pack wide open, and you're not going to leave anything down the right-hand side of the table as we look. As I say, if you play the last red in the pack when you're breaking off, if you play that corner red and you get it too heavy, too thick, that red will, and if the pace is too heavy, the red's always going to come back up the table, and it may well be in play into one of the side pockets. So you've got to work on your break technique. And in some respects, even though the break-off shot is really important in professional snooker, because you see more and more nowadays where the pros are that worried about leaving any sort of shot on a red in the break-off if they don't get covered behind a baulk colour or getting the baulk cushion. And even if they do get the baulk cushion, you know, some of these players are coming to the table and banging a ball in, and that's it. End of frame. It's maybe not quite as high a level as that in BP4, but the same thing still applies, that if you're playing the wrong guy, he's going to come in and he's going to make 50, 60 odd and have more or less won the frame by the time you get back to the table. So you need to get a good break off. And I'll use another terminology from the Cliff Thorburn days. You've got to do a bit of grinding. And, you know, Cliff Thorburn was, you know, he was a Canadian pool player, but I'll tell you something, he had got the strategy of snooker worked out. He was one of the hardest snooker players that anybody could play at the time. He gave you absolutely nothing, and he would drill you into the ground. So, Matt, with a 33-point lead, has done the right thing. I mean, it's an easy safety. You just run 2 rails into the back of the bunch, trying to get it dead weight. And if you get it good enough now, it's not a touch and ball, but let's have a look. Matt's playing this with right hand side to clip the rail and push it up the table, and that looks good to me. You've got to use the right hand side in the cue ball so that you're clipping that red. As soon as it hits the rail, it fires at that direction and you get it back into ball. And that's a good safety. He's got cover behind the brown. I think there might be an edge. No, there isn't. So again, the problem now, Semi's trying to go above the middle pocket to run in between the reds and the pink. And that's a good shot. But once again, Matt can duck for cover. He's got an easy safety. And let's have a look at that. Again, an excellent shot. This is what I'm talking about. You know, find your lines. This is how you're looking to create opportunities, by putting your opponent under pressure. And this time, Matt's got a chance. Not an easy one, but if he can get down the bottom half of the table, and he's overcut it. He was looking to get down here somewhere to get on the brown or green, but overcut the red. Now, again, Semipro doesn't need to be aggressive. He's got one red there that he can land on easily enough off this black. But again, he's went over the top in trying to create stuff when he hasn't bided his time. He could have easily just potted the black, finished on the red, and if he finished in the right angle, he could have maybe brought another red out and either have been on the black or the pink. You never know, but Semi's went all out again. Well, it was stupid, so it was. I'll always say as I see it. If I see crap, I call it crap. Well, let's be a bit more diplomatic and say that it wasn't a wise choice of shot when there was a simple shot to pot the black and get on the red. Bide your time. Well, I've got the chat covered by my stuff that's on the bottom of the screen, so you guys can't see what Semipro said, but there wasn't any niceties in it. Let's just put it that way. Now, it's all about clearing the right red first. I mean, you can get onto the red. I don't know whether the red doesn't go into the middle pocket. Well, maybe it does. Is my eyes that bad? Oh, he's playing the middle one. He's playing the middle one. I didn't think that red went. Now he needed to run off that red. Has he ran far enough? Yes, he has. Or has he? Yes, he has. Just enough. Well, I've never bothered. I mean, if I'm doing commentary on anybody, right? It's how I see it. And if I don't think it was the right shot, or if I think there was a better option on, I'll say it. I might not be right 100% of the time, but I'll tell you something. 95% of the time, I'm probably right. And I'm talking from a snooker point of view. There's a lot of stupid shots getting played, and it has to be said, quite a lot of them are from semi-pro, and that's partly due to my interpretation of how it is as far as match play goes, and what he's so used to doing. I mean, if he's came in a match like this to try and make big 100 breaks every time, then he needs to come up with a better plan than that. Especially against somebody, a good quality player like that. You can't be doing it. So the break ends in 36. The lead is 6-8. And the frame is over because Semipro needed a stack of snookers. So now, from Semipro having a 3-frame lead, it's now 7 frames all. Now loads of side. Needs the green to come to the rescue, and he has done. As far as the red on the far side. Now again, the safety here is into the back of the pack. But Semipro's gone all out. And again, an extremely high risk shot. This time he's got away with it as far as potting the red. But again, the outcome is going to be inevitable because you cannot take liberties. And Matt is just coming to a feast here. There's loads of points to be made by what's in the open. You'll get a good lead and then run for cover. I don't know whether Semi's got the idea that he's out to impress people by how good he is at making big breaks. Because if that's the idea, then it's not going to work by doing the things he's doing, because it isn't, as I say, match play. The opportunities will come as long as you're not making far more opportunities for your opponent. And he's going about it entirely the wrong way, as far as I see it. And now it's up to you guys whether you agree with me or not. And whether Semi does or not, it doesn't matter to me. Well, this time, Matt's fell foul. Let's see if I can find that one.
Where's the cue ball going?
We don't make mistakes here. We just have.
Put 'em up.
That's the one.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
That's exactly the point I'm making as far as a strategist goes in snooker. Some people just won't listen. But, a lot of the shots, to be honest with you, with some of the shots here, you wouldn't know whether it is Stub or Semi-Pro playing. Because I don't care how many reds are in the open, you should always be playing, in a specific area for pretty much guaranteed reds. No, well, you see, the thing is, Bedhead, it doesn't matter whether it's a virtual game or whether it's real life, because you should be adapting the same thought processes, and above all, positional play. This is why I said earlier on there that Matt Magic was technically the best snooker player I've seen playing virtual pool, because he did everything the right way. And that's what I'm talking about. If you talk about just playing things because you can get away with them, is that the right way to be trying to play the game? No, it isn't. This is why Steve rants on about when he watches one pocket being played. There's lots of stuff that Steve talks about that he would never ever contemplate playing. In fact, not just one pocket, any other game. And I'm talking in the same ideas as Steve as far as snooker goes. You've got to be playing it the right way. It's not about taking liberties because you can get away with them in VP4. You have to be playing a lot tighter and getting that positional play a lot better. And then it starts to look a lot more professional. And that's what I'm talking about. If you're just a case of banging balls open and potting a ball, running the cue ball where you'll have some sort of sight and a colour, that's not the way to go about it. You have to go about it the right way. See, this is the thing. It's probably a reason why, there's lots of players that are good at potting balls, but they're into a nasty habit of just wanting to do that all the time. You have to be playing the game the right way. As banging reds open all the time in practice just so that you can pot and make loads of big breaks impressive. It's impressive as far as that goes, but where's your match play strategy in that sort of game? You're doing nothing at all. You look at these reds here, in and around the pink here. What you're doing is you're playing into an area. Now, Matt has got a slight angle in the black. It's not a great angle because he'd have to thump it in. Now he's going to probably get a wee nudge here. So now he's looking good. And that red there, does that go as well? Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, it goes into the middle pocket, definitely. I don't know whether it goes into the corner. It looks too tight. And there we go. Matt's blowing up. I'm sure that red goes into the middle. The one that's stuck on the pink. It doesn't go into the corner, I don't think. I think it's too tight for that. Well, this shot, you play the black and run up the table on the right side, and you're either on the red to the left of the pink, or if you go far enough, you're in the red into the middle. And this frame should be over. And the commentator's curse has done it again. Semipro has a 9-point lead. And if Matt can nail this red, and he hasn't, and that might be his chance come and gone. It was not easy. Well, play the pink, come back across to the red, or play the blue and go behind the red for it into the middle. He's left himself a dodgy one. The simpler one would have been to play the blue and drop behind the red into the middle pocket. But he's played it well. And blue to take him down onto the yellow, and this should definitely be over now. Well, again, the commentator's curse has done it. It's a 22-point lead. All the colours on their spots, bar the yellow. And this has again got to be played to get the cue ball out. But the control isn't there. I mean, this is where you play just a plain ball green and hope you pick that potting angle, because you're always going to be in the brown as long as you get the right pace. Again, he's just overhit it slightly. That just needs to slow up a bit. I think he's fine. Just roll through. Go through as far as you dare, because you want to be just knocking this pink in and coming back up for the black, or rolling through for the black. One of the two. Let's see, left. He's left himself a wee bit dodgy. I think he might be alright though to run through. Yeah, he just managed to hold the line. Well, he's 2 points behind, so this to steal his fourth frame. And he's overcut it, but he's overcut it the right way. Well, the inevitable happens. Semis went for the cut in the black. Nothing you can do other than go for the pot and hope you get lucky. And he scratched. And Matt goes into the lead by 8 frames to 7. So this should be the final frame in the session. And Semipro has went back to his natural habitat and smacking the reds from the back. Now again, it's a sort of reverse strategy. He's bust the reds open, and it can work two ways. It puts pressure on Matt to find his way through these, but also, in a reverse way, it puts pressure on Semipro should Matt mess up here early on. Semipro then has to deliver on his strategy of busting the reds open. But one thing's for certain, there's a stack of reds here to be picked off, and he should be looking at getting 50 odd here at least. You've got 4 reds that are pretty much tied up on the left side, but he doesn't need to worry about them. He just needs to pick his way through what's available. and do the right thing. You don't need to be trying to create reds on the left side cushion when everything else is there. And now he's gone outward, and it could also leave Semi his opportunity. He's got a green that he can see cleanly enough. Oh no, he's touching the red. He's touching the red. I never noticed that until I looked at the HUD there. I don't know whether he can play clean off the red. He can't. He can't get to the green. He would foul. And I don't know whether he can. Well, this is really awkward. Chinese snookered over the black, and he's forgot to adjust the tip of his cue. So the run does end on 25, but it gives 7 to Semipro. And it gives him his chance to make hay while the sun shines. But I don't think he's got on the black. Cue ball. Oh. And the pink doesn't go into the corner, obviously. So he's going to have to work around the blue until he can get down onto preferably that red that's blocking the pink. Get rid of it. Well, it's blocking it into that pocket, obviously, but at some point he should be able to find his way down there. Well, you talking about snooker matches or just tournaments in general? Now, that shot there, he took a risk trying to improve the reds. Didn't get any joy, but he had that one last red in the open. Let's see what he's got here. Well, dodgy cut into the middle pocket. That was a good shot. Once again, I think the angle on the pink's pretty good. To maybe nudge onto one of them and leave the other one into the corner. Well, he's got it far too thin. So the lead is 30. So again, duck for cover. Goes all out for the double. And that's a golden rule in snooker. You never go for the double when the frame isn't really won, or unless you can guarantee you're going to leave nothing on. And you can't really guarantee you'll ever leave nothing on if you're playing a double. You don't know where the object ball's going to end up going when it hits the cushion or hits the jaws. But those two reds now are open, albeit they're not that handy. But where's this cue ball ending up? I think he's fine. But once again, it's deja vu. It's the fifth chance. And Matt's done 4 of them, I think. This is the 5th chance that Matt's had in this session tonight where he can steal a frame. And again, I think it's down to the wrong shot choice by Semi. playing the double when he should have just ducked for cover. Played the thin edge, kept it tight, and wouldn't have given Matt this opportunity. And this is a critical one. Now it could be aggressive on the black, and he'd end up leaving himself a long red. He's going to leave himself a long red from the shorter side, and he's overcut the pink. And again, this time it might be his chance gone. There was nothing to stop him cutting the black with pace and running the cue ball around to get this side of the red down that rail. But it's looking pretty much odds on that the session is going to end up with a tied ball game. So the first session was won by Semipro by 5 frames to 3, and we've got the same result in the opposite corner. In this session, Matt has won by 5 frames to 3. Right, so I'm just telling them in the chat, one of them should kill the game and the other one should then save it, given that opportunity, and that'll allow them to make sure they are saving the game this time. Well, Matt, you feasted off Semi-Pro's silly idea of how he should be playing snooker. You feasted off that for the most part. I think you got 4 out of the 6 frames. You messed up in 2 of them, but I think you got 4 of them because of that. Yeah, well, thanks for watching. Remember, you know, nobody has to agree with what I say and what I see. I'm only interpreting it the way I see it. Lots of folk don't agree with me. They never have done. Some will agree with me. But it is a purely objective opinion. That's what it's about. It's interpreting what you're seeing in front of you. I just think Semi-Pro's a far better player than what he's shown tonight in the way that he goes about playing in match play snooker. And that's easily rectified. Easily rectified. So I think we're just waiting to confirm one of them bails out the game, and then the other will have the opportunity to save the game, and that way we know it's 100% saved. But above all, the players that are playing, if they ever watch the video or they're listening to the stream, see, Semi's quit. That isn't the right way to make sure there's a save. Oh dear. What a couple of numpties. Well, he wasn't reading the chat. Anyway, what we do know is it's 8-all. And now I can't remember, did they say in the chat there that we're going to be here next Sunday? Yeah, I think they did. Well, the idea is that they should be here next Sunday, round about a similar time for the next session of the match. So that is it, folks. Thanks for watching. It's now ended 8 frames all. Oh, there's LS3. Brain fell out there as well. I never even noticed you guys were there. Well, good evening to Lard and good evening to Lard. We are heading off. That is the end of tonight's session. It's ended 8 frames all. Matt's tied the match up. We've seen how that came about. So I'm going to have a few words with Semipro. No doubt he might not want to listen to me, but he should have be in a better frame of mind for the rest of the match, I would think. I would hope. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Good night, ladies.